Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. And today's video is about when they get worried when you stop responding. But this is part 2. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and let's get going. A sharp metallic ting filled your senses, and the low, steady beep of a machine slowly pulled you from the abyss. You tried to open your eyes, but the lids felt heavy, glued shut. A gentle pressure on your hand grounded you. They're waking up. You heard Kirishima's voice, laced with relief. You managed to flutter your eyes open, the bright white of the ceiling a jarring contrast to the darkness that you'd been in. Blinking a few times, your vision slowly came into focus. Kirishima's worried face was the first thing you saw, followed by Bakugo's tense but relieved expression. "You idiot," Bakugo said, his voice gruff, although you could hear the tremor beneath the surface. "You had us worried sick." You tried to speak, but your throat felt dry and raspy. "What happened?" "That villain hit you with some kind of sedative," Kirishima explained, his hand tightening around yours. "But don't worry, the doctor said you'll be fine. You just need a few days of rest." A few days turned into a week. They rarely left your side. Kirishima was the ever-present rock, keeping spirits up with stories and his endless optimism. Bakugo, despite his protests, was a constant presence, his way of showing affection through quiet gestures, a perfectly folded hospital blanket, a scowl that softened when he thought you weren't looking. He even brought you your favorite spicy ramen, ignoring the nurse's warning about hospital food policies. The day you were finally released, he felt a wave of relief so strong that it almost made you lightheaded. As Bakugo helped you into the car and Kirishima buckled you in, it felt like coming home. When the car pulled up to the dorms, the place felt a million miles away from the cold, sterile hospital room. Bakugo carried you inside, ignoring your protests. Kirishima had already prepared your favorite meal, the smell of comfort food filling the air. They set you up on the couch, pillows piled behind your back, a soft blanket draped over your legs. "Just rest," Bakugo commanded, a rare softness in his eyes. "We'll take care of everything," Kirishima added, a warm smile on his face. The next few days were a blur of recovery and love. They took turns making sure that you were comfortable, bringing you tea, and watching movies with you. One evening, as Bakugo's head rested on your lap and Kirishima's arm was wrapped around your shoulders, you felt a sense of peace that you hadn't realized was missing. "I'm sorry," you whispered, the words catching in your throat. "I didn't mean to worry you." Bakugo lifted his head, his crimson eyes locking with yours. "Don't you dare. It's our job to worry about you, and your job to get back to us. That's how this works." Kirishima leaned down and kissed your temple. "He's right. The only thing that matters is that you're home. Safe." You nestled deeper into their embrace, a quiet, contented sigh escaping your lips. You had faced down a villain, but nothing compared to the overwhelming power of their combined love. And with that on your mind, you closed your eyes. "Hey, sleepyhead." You stirred, the smell of burnt toast and the familiar comforting scent pulling you from a deep slumber. You blinked, sunlight streaming through the windows of the dorms. Baku was leaning over the couch, a mug of coffee in his hand. "Morning," he mumbled, stretching your aching muscles. He still felt a bit stiff, but the dull ache was a world away from the throbbing pain that you'd felt in the alley. "What time is it?" "It's late enough that Kirishima almost burned down the kitchen," he grumbled, taking a sip of his coffee. He's making get-well-soon pancakes. A small smile touched your lips. Of course he is. You sat up, the blanket pulling in your lap. The events of the last week felt like a hazy, surreal dreams. Have you guys heard anything about the villain? Baku's Joe Titan? The agency has him. Turns out his quirk lets him absorb kinetic energy, and then release it into these solid projectiles. Explains why my attacks weren't having the usual effect. He didn't mention the part where he'd spent 2 days straight in a training room, pushing himself to the brink, fueled by a desire for revenge. Just then, Kirishima burst into the room, holding a plate stacked high with lopsided, golden brown pancakes. "Look, I told you I could do it," he said, his bright smile contagious. "I even made a little smiley face with blueberries on yours." He placed the plate carefully in your lap. "Eat up. We're going to have a movie marathon all day. I've already got my comfort blanket picked out." As you ate, feeling the warmth of the food and the quiet, loving presence of the two men who had saved you, you knew you were the luckiest person in the world. They were your strength, your safe place, and your home. "You know," Bakugo said, sitting on the coffee table in front of you, "we've decided that you're officially in couch patrol for the rest of the month." "Exactly," Kirishima chimed in. "We'll be your personal lieutenants, your bodyguards, and your everything." You laughed, a full-bodied, happy sound. "I think I can live with that." You glanced between them, at Bakugo's scowl that couldn't quite hide his affection, and Kirishima's bright and genuine smile. They had been your light in the darkness, and you knew without a doubt that you would do anything for them. "Thank you," you said, your voice thick with emotion. Bakugo rolled his eyes, but a hint of a smile tugged at his lips. "Just don't do anything stupid again. Got it?" "Yeah, I do," you said, a promise in your voice. He leaned forward and kissed Kirishima, then Bakugo, a silent pledge to cherish the love that had brought you home. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you liked this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And goodbye!